Assalamu alaikum students. Today in the half yearly syllabus, the first lesson we are going to discuss is atoms, elements and compounds. Please open your textbook page 10 to the lesson and have a pencil in your hand to underline important points in the lesson while we are discussing. Okay. In this chapter we are going to discuss about atoms, elements and compounds. What is atom actually? Atoms are the things that each element and everything around us made up of. It is the most smallest particle that can be same type made up of only one element having the same type. And if we see to atom, we can find they are very small, incredibly. We cannot imagine how much small they are. Due to their this size, very small, we cannot see them through our naked eye. And atoms have nucleus and an empty space. This nucleus, compared to its empty space, is very, very small. And nucleus is tiny and dense. It is solid, tiny and dense. It is in the center. It is core, it is center, it is middle. And we call it nucleus. And around the nucleus, electrons are moving. We say electrons cloud move or electrons fly around the nucleus in this empty space. And nucleus is center. And in the nucleus, we can see two particles. They are protons and neutrons. So all together, we can see three subatomic particles in an atom, any atom. Three subatomic particles. They are proton, neutrons and electrons. Right. When we take an atom, we can observe it is consists of made up of two parts. That is core called nucleus, it is dense, and electrons cloud moving around it. And all together inside the atom we can find three subatomic particles. They are protons, neutrons and electrons. Protons and neutrons are inside the nucleus and electrons are moving around the nucleus. Right? And in the first paragraph, it is given you the definition of atoms. Atoms are incredibly small and mostly empty space. Each atom consists of a nucleus, a cloud of particles called electrons that whiz around the nucleus. Up to this is the definition of atom. Right? And the diagram is given the common how the atoms are made up of with the nucleus and electron clouds. And in the same way, student, you can see three different elements are given their photographs for you to see. And we can clearly see the first photograph of sodium and the diagram of diamond photograph and mercury. See, sodium is silvery color metal and diamond is sparkling and mercury is a liquid and it is a liquid metal at the room temperature. These three have three different appearance and also their properties are different. But these three elements, they all are made up of atoms. If atom has only three subatomic particles, then why sodium is different from diamond? Then why diamond is different from mercury and sodium? How do they differ? It is, student, because the sodium atoms have different number of protons and electrons and neutrons. And diamond atoms, they have different number of protons and neutrons and electrons. And mercury atoms have different number of protons, neutrons and electrons. Right? For example, so if we take sodium atom has 11 protons, 11 electron and 11 neutron. Proton 11, neutron 11 and electron also 11. And if we say diamond is made up of carbon atom. Diamond is the common name. It is made up of carbon atom. So its atom has 6 proton, 6 neutron and 6 electron. That is why these two are different from each other. You see the diagram? This is naturally available form given to you, real photographs. And mercury atom is far more different and is a liquid. It is dark and silver color. And mercury has proton 80 and neutron 91 neutrons and electrons 80. See the difference. 11 proton, 6 proton, 80 proton. 11 neutron, 6 neutron, 91 neutron. 11 electrons, 6 electron and 80 electron. That is the difference between these three elements, because the amount of subatomic particles in different elements are different. That is why they have different properties. Okay? Alright. Now, already we know from your previous class knowledge that an atoms get together make element. Everything around us made up of atoms. Atom is the smallest unit that an element is made up of. If we separate any substance into smaller particles, divided, and undividable form to the one as one specific form, we will get the atom. In that case, each element is made up of only one type of atom. So atoms get together, atoms of same type. One type of atom get together. See, all these atoms are size same. They get together to make element. One element. One element contains one type of atom. Right? And this is another different type of element. This is a different element, element 2, element 1. And the atoms of these two join together, see, black and white atoms. So this is not an element now, because it has two different atoms joined together. So it turned into a compound. Now we call this is not an element, this is a compound, because it has two different types of atoms. Okay, see the board. One type of atom get together, make element. And this is one element, this is another element. If atoms of two different elements join together, it becomes now a compound. We call compound because it has two different types of atoms chemically combined. Our subject is chemistry, so in this subject we are learning the chemical reactions, how elements get together make their reaction. Now we call it chemically combined. They are not just joined together, they chemically combine. That means their binding is a little bit difficult to separate. But using chemical methods, certain compounds we can separate into, again, the elements they are made up of. Look at here. One element is made up of one type of atom and another element is also made up of another type of atom. Right? Suppose, student, if we do a reaction for a element by a reaction, That means chemical reaction. In the chemistry lab, using chemical reaction, we cannot separate atoms. Atoms in the elements cannot be separated into different other forms by a reaction. That means, student, element cannot be separated into anything simpler other than its own atom in a chemical reaction. So element state is the last state we can get in a chemical reaction. In an element, it is difficult to separate atoms in the chemical reaction. Just we will get at the end as the simplest form the element. One element is made up of one type of atom. But in certain compounds, we can separate into elements by a chemical reaction. We can separate compound into elements. If we do a chemical reaction, certain compounds can separate into their elements, and most of them, and some compounds can be separated into elements using electricity. And compounds can be separated into elements, but element cannot be separated into any other smaller in a chemical reaction. Only element will remain as the elements with the same type of atom. That is the difference between element and a compound. An element is made up of only one type of atom and it cannot be separated into anything simpler by a chemical reaction. But compound is made up of different types of atoms, chemically combined. Students, to make a compound, minimum there should be two different types of atom. Two different. Let's see, two different. If there are three different atoms, it can. There can be three different type of atom. There can be four different type of atom, five different type. It depends on the compound. In this world, there are huge amount of compound because there are around 120 elements. These 120 elements combine in many different ways. Just like for an example, generally, you can make friends with many students. It can be in your own classmates, it can be with your other classmates. And also you can make friendship with other school class 7 students in the same way. So you can combine with many friend groups among you. In the same way, one element can combine with 100 other 120 elements in different way. So there may be huge number of compounds, but there should be minimum two different types of element to make a compound, isn't it? If it is one type of element, we call it is just an element. If there are two different types, we call it a compound. Minimum there should be two different elements to make a compound. How many can join? It depends on the compound name. We cannot say an exact number. There are huge amount of compounds around us in the whole world. Okay? Alright. And every element has a symbol. Element has a symbol, student, and this symbol comes from its Latin or English name. An element symbol, first letter is always capital, and if second letter comes, it is simple. This is an example of helium. Helium is an element, its first letter is capital and second letter is simple. And this symbol comes from its Latin or English name. Helium, this symbol comes from its helium English name. For example, if you see to your periodic table in the page 11, you can see there are names and symbols are different in certain elements. That is because certain elements name are given from Latin language in around 200-300 years before scientists gave them Latin names, still we are using them. Right? For example, sodium. We most of the time learning about this element. Sodium. Name sodium is English, but the symbol is Na. This symbol comes from Latin. Latin name natrium. Latin name of sodium is natrium and English name is sodium. So name is English and the symbol is come from Latin name natrium. It is same for potassium. Potassium is the English name and its symbol is K, capital K. It is comes from Kalium. Don't worry. I will provide you study notes. Just listen and understand right now. Sodium symbol come from the Latin name. Potassium symbol come from also Latin name. English name and symbol from Latin name. What you have to remember is element has a symbol either from its Latin name or its English name. And the symbol of an element first letter should be written always capital. If second letter comes, it is small. All the element doesn't have a second letter. Some elements have only one letter and some elements have second letter, two letters. So if second letter comes, it is written in small. Remember, this is a rule in chemistry. And another thing, when you are writing symbol and formula, please don't write script letters. That is not accepted in formula writing. That means you should write normal letter and don't ever write like this script letters for symbol and formula. Don't write. You should write normal letters and it should be clearly visible the symbols and formulas. Never write CO2 like this. Formula. Never. Script letter should not be written in symbol and formula writing. Remember, it's a rule. All right. Uh, we know in our earth, naturally, on the earth surface, scientists have naturally found around 90 elements naturally, around 90 elements naturally found on the earth surface. And but in the periodic table, there are more than 90 elements mentioned. Then these other elements are formed or made inside the laboratory artificially. These artificial elements are not staying for a long time. That means after once prepared, they break down. That means their atoms change into different other atoms. That means student, for example, uranium. This is a radioactive material, radioactive element. This is an element, uranium. I'm making you understand. You need not to memorize its reaction activity. This element atom break down into smaller atoms over time. So after certain period, we cannot see uranium atom, we can see different other atoms and different elements. It change into different elements. That is why it is mentioned in your book, artificial elements decay, that means it break down, its atoms change, break down into other elements. You know, an atom is identified by its number of protons inside it. Uranium atom, proton, neutron, break down and it change into two different atoms. Now, the proton and neutron inside this uranium atom is split, broken into two different atoms. So, their number of protons and electrons are different than the previous uranium atom. Now, it has changed into another element. Okay? Alright. Now you are given a periodic table in the page 11. This is the one important, we can say it is like a map of elements because we can learn the element names, symbols, its proton number, its mass number, that means how much proton and neutrons together inside an atom using this table. This table is giving the information regarding the elements so far we are using in the chemistry and the elements which we have found in the earth as well as find out by the scientists. And let's see what we can learn from this periodic table. From the periodic table, it is given in your page 10 bullet form. It gives the names and the symbols for the elements. By looking to this, you can learn the names and the symbols of each element. And also, And after seeing to the page 11, you can see this periodic table has 8 columns and 7 rows, right? And this vertical side comes columns, and this horizontal way comes rows. And there are 8 columns like this. We call them groups. Columns are called groups. And there is a middle block. And then 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th one is called group 0. There are 8 groups. 8 groups. Last group is named as 0 group because it's outer shell. These elements, their atoms have complete outer shell. And the middle block, this is called middle block. Middle block has a name. It is called transition metals. Group 1, group 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last one is 0, middle block. Is called transition metal. In the middle block, we don't have given the group name. Transition metal is a one block between group 2 and group 3. It doesn't have any group numbers. And in this horizontal side, there are, first one is hydrogen and helium. First row, second row, third row, fourth row. Second row start from lithium. 5, 6, and last row is starting from francium. So rows are called periods. This is called periodic table, periods. And this table is called also called periodic table. Columns are called groups. There are 8 groups. And horizontal rows are called periods. There are 7 periods. See? 7 periods. And a middle block. Middle block has only period number but no group number. Remember, transition metal block start from group 4 and it goes up to group 7. It has only a period number but no group number. Remember, right? And this one group element behave in similar way. For example, if we take group 1, lithium, sodium, potassium, all of these metals react in same way in a chemical reaction. They have same type of properties because all the group 1 atoms have one electron in the outer shell. All these atoms have one electron in the outer shell. That is their similarity. That is why they are in group 1. And all the elements in this group 2, magnesium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, they have 2 electrons in their outer shell. That is why one group element behave in same way. The elements in a row do not behave in the same way. Elements in one group behave in same way. In the same way, group 6 and 7 elements behave in same way. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Here helium, neon, argon, xenon, or krypton. These elements outer shell are complete and they don't show any reaction. So we say groups are families of elements. Family means in one family element they behave in same way. And remember students, in the periodic table shown in your book, it has separated by a zigzag line. Start from group 3 below, there is a dark black line and it goes up to group 6. See, end up in group 6. Just check it. Group 1 blue color, group 2 given slightly purple color and transition metal block blue color, and group 3 below boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. Up to that they are metals, and then zigzag line start below boron. Boron from it is going up to group 6 above polonium. In that zigzag line, to the left side is metal, and from zigzag line to right side is non-metal. Metals and non-metals are separated from this zigzag line. Right. We discuss about atom, we discuss about compound, we discuss about elements, and all the elements are shown in the periodic table. You can see transition metal block, and they are from here they are showing an arrow, and another block is shown down. Maybe you haven't come across in the previous lessons this block. Actually, this is inside this middle block because all the outer shell electrons cannot be shown in the same box. That is why this is taken out and shown, right? These elements are belong to this middle transition block. Remember, these elements behave in different way. That is why they are not given in a group. See, there are three elements in this one line. I'm talking about the last one: zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Uh, Zinc, cadmium, mercury. They are in one column, but three of them are not same. They are behaving different way. That is why they are not given a group number. Normally, group numbers are given, and group those elements behave in same way in a chemical reaction, right? That is why in the transition block we do not include any group number. Or not actually, scientists did not include any group number, but they have a row number. Remember, period number is there. So overall, this is the summary. We can learn name, symbol, and atomic number and proton number and how many protons and neutrons in the from the periodic table. Because from it is mentioned in the periodic table, you see, student, every element has the name given in small letters printed and the symbol printed. Above the symbol, there are two numbers. For example, if you take lithium, above left hand side above number 7 and there is a number down, and this is the symbol of lithium. This means a name is given. The upper number is the mass number. That means it's the proton and neutron number together, and this is the proton number, and this is lithium element. So we can get information about an element from the periodic table. This is lithium and its symbol, and it has a mass of 7, it has an atomic number of 3. Atomic number means proton number 3 and mass number means proton plus neutron 7. We already know proton number is 3 and a neutron number is 3 plus n equals 7, and a neutron number is 7 minus 3 equal 4. Like that we get information from the periodic table. Alright, and compounds have formula. Formula of a compound is made up of the elements inside it. See the table, there are three compounds given: water, carbon dioxide and ethanol. See, water molecule is made up of hydrogen atom and oxygen atom, two elements. So water formula is its formula should be, your diagram is given H2O because two hydrogen atoms join with one oxygen atom. And carbon dioxide formula is one carbon with two oxygen, CO2. And then you are given ethanol diagram. See, in the ethanol, its formula is one carbon is joined with three hydrogen, first carbon joined with three hydrogen, so we say CH3, and second carbon joined with two hydrogen, we say CH2, and then with oxygen one hydrogen joined. So its formula you will write like this. You don't write C2H6O, that is wrong. This is the correct formula. Okay, in the next class, we will discuss the question answers in the lesson. Right? We will stop today.